We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris and Mason Fleming is producing. Joan Jones is in the newsroom. We got you guys on the phone lines, the text line, the Super Talk TV chats, and we appreciate you joining us. However you're joining us, 615-737-9986. Mason did just confirm to me off the air that I did indeed have the best Christmas song during the Criss Cross handoff.
I mean, can't help it.
Come on.
Can't help it.
Everybody knew it. They were trying. Nobody wants to hurt Jones' feelings. That's really what this comes down to. So, yeah, I appreciate you giving me that cosign.
Also, I'm a little biased.
Yeah. Dude, Christmas in Hollis, it's the best. It's the best. Hey, we got some major news this morning. Did you hear what's going on? The J6 pipe bomber, the suspect, allegedly, has been arrested and is going to be appearing in court this morning.
Allegedly.
And Dana, it happened January 5th, 2021. A mysterious person covered from head to toe placed pipe bombs outside both the Democratic National Committee and Republican National Committee here in our nation's capital. We don't know the suspect's name or anything about this person other than the fact this is a male that was living in Northern Virginia, arrested at some point within the last 90 minutes, now in federal custody.
So we know it's a male. That's all we know about it. He was arrested. This came out a couple hours ago. So this is wild. Now, I don't know why we're seeing this today. I think that our friend Glenn Beck put a little bit of pressure on him when they were trying to identify the J6 pipe bomber. They had actually identified a female Capitol Police officer who had fired onto the crowd and then went to work for the CIA, and they said that they were 98% sure that it was her. The FBI had came out and said, no, pump the brakes on that. Glenn Beck did pump the brakes on that, and they ended up kind of running away from that theory. And now today we're learning that the suspect that they've identified and arrested is a male. So were they wrong, or are they giving us up a patsy? I mean, that's the conversation that's going to happen online. It's 2025. We're never going to have a consensus on the truth. It sucks, but that's the reality of the situation. But I'm interested to see who this individual is.
I'm told we'll know more as the day moves on, and as soon as we have the information, of course, we will break in with that. But just this past October, a couple of months ago, the FBI put out this enhanced video and pictures of the masked suspect planting pipe bombs near a bench outside the DNC in Washington on January 5th, 2021, the night before the attack on the U.S. Capitol. The suspect then placed the same type of bomb outside the RNC minutes later. The suspect, as I said, wore a face mask, hooded sweatshirt, sweatshirt, glasses, gloves. But using FBI technology, agents told the public the suspect they believe is around 5'7". We'll see, Bill, if that rings true once we get an identity later today. Agents say the two bombs were placed between 7:30 and 8:30 at night. The bombs did not detonate, but this is important. They were viable. They could have hurt people. They could have killed people. Those bombs were discovered the next day. Over the past 4 years, agents visited 1,200 homes and businesses, conducted more than 1,000 interviews, reviewed approximately 39,000 video files, went through 600 tips. It's notable the reward, Bill and Dana, was $500,000, $500,000.
Who gets the reward? That's what I want to know. Who gets that reward? Also, why did it take so long in the most surveilled city in America? It took us 4 years, 4+ years to get to the bottom of it. I don't know. It doesn't pass the smell test. I'm interested to see what happens. Let's wait and see. I guess we're going to get more information as the day goes on. He's expected to appear in court this morning. And as that happens, we are going to be breaking in with that immediately. If you see anything, break in. Joan, if you hear anything, break in, because I think that's easily the biggest story of the day. The pipe bomber allegedly has been arrested.
Allegedly.
Elsewhere in the news, we got a lot going on. The Minnesota fraud, the Somali fraud, is just becoming one of the biggest stories in the country. And then the other biggest story in the country is the Venezuelan narcos. Where should we start? Because I feel like they're both kind of on equal footing on how big of a story they are for the conservative audience. I'll leave this one up to Mason. Do we go Venezuela or do we go Somalia? I know it's tough. It's like both have some really good angles. What do you want to do?
I'm going Venezuela.
You're going Venezuela. We did a lot of Somalia yesterday.
Yeah, we did do a lot of Somalia.
We did a lot of Somalia yesterday. Believe it or not, there's a lot more new Somalia for today.
That doesn't surprise me.
But we can start with Venezuela. Let's start with Leon Panetta. Leon Panetta, former CIA Secretary of Defense. You may remember him from such classics as being one of the 51 intelligence officers that signed the letter saying that the Hunter laptop was Russian disinformation. Well, it was just a couple days ago that Leon Panetta was on, was it MS Now or CNN? Yeah, it was MS Now, which I hate the name change.
MSNBC.
It's MSNBC, okay? MSDNC, MS awful. Leon Panetta was on there because nobody else takes him seriously. And he said, war crimes.
There is no lawyer that I'm aware of who indicates that second strike is not a war crime. These were individuals in the water who were wounded. It is against the law to strike and kill those individuals. They did that. As far as I'm concerned, there is a war crime involved here.
No, it's a war crime. It's a war crime with a country that we're not officially at war with. So would it just be a crime at that point? Is it a war crime or is it just murder? I don't know. Also, fun fact. Leon Panetta would probably tell us we have to stand with Ukraine too, right? And how many videos have you seen of injured Russian soldiers running away from a drone and being blown up? Is that a war crime too? Are we standing with war criminals in the Ukraine? Are we funding war crimes? I mean, if that's a war crime, that right? Am I off on my logic? Maybe. Hey, fun fact: Leon Panetta was wrong. Shocker. Is any stunned? Shocked and stunned. I thought Leon Panetta was on top of his game, and we found out that he was wrong. He was lying, and he was just pulling stuff out of his butt. Last night, thanks to one ABC's Martha Raddatz, she had new information, new details on the double tap, which is just like, it's so dumb. It's just like, even the way they're describing it, it's like, we blew up some narco terrorists, so nothing of value was lost. But they were floating in the water. They were defenseless. I don't know. Listen, personally, I'd rather get blown up than drown. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But it turns out that they weren't just floating in the water innocently. No, you know what they were doing? They were trying to get back in the boat, and they were trying to recover the drugs. And ABC Fake News, they admitted as much last night.
And tonight, new information. According to a source familiar with the incident, the two survivors climbed back onto the boat after the initial strike. They were believed to be potentially in communication with others and salvaging some of the drugs. Because of that, it was determined they were still in the fight and valid targets. A JAG officer was also giving legal advice. So again, David, that video will be key, and Admiral Bradley will be on the Hill tomorrow behind closed doors.
So a JAG officer was in the room giving legal advice on the strike. The narco-terrorists were trying to get back in the boat, recover the drugs, so they were still in the fight. I thought it was a war crime. Oh my gosh. Turns out it wasn't a war crime. I'll be honest with you, this story has not interested me at all. I'm old enough to remember Joe Biden bombing innocent civilians, and nobody seemed to care. I'm old enough to remember Barack Obama drone striking an American citizen in the Middle East, and nobody cared. But the minute we take out some narco terrorists in Venezuela, everybody loses their mind. Well, okay, I don't know why. And the mental gymnastics from the Democrats have been just outstanding. Unbelievable, actually. Senator Jack Reed, a senator from Rhode Island, he actually went on CNN yesterday, and he said, guys, listen, I know there's a bunch of cocaine. I know that they're moving the drugs, but believe it or not, those people weren't narco traffickers. In fact, Senator Jack Reed tells us, the people that move the drugs in the boats aren't narco traffickers at all. Do tell.
You know, one of the factors that drives use in the United States is demand. And most narco traffickers are not in those boats. They pay people to do that. And usually people who are not significantly involved with narco trading. It's the way they make money.
So people are making money moving drugs, narcotics, if you will, moving them, trafficking, but they're not narco traffickers. What? This is actually they're just good guys. They're raising money for a little league team in an orphanage in Venezuela. It's the only way they can do it. So they're not trafficking the drugs. They're community fundraisers, actually. So what? This is the modern day left. The pearl clutching, the hand wringing. I'm sorry. I said the entire time during the Iran-Israel stuff, I said the entire time during the campaign, if you want me to support a war, let's go after the idiots that are pumping fentanyl into this country. I'm not going to feel bad. I don't care. I just don't care. You know, we used to be a proper country. If I had a time machine and I was to take us back to 1989, you might even find some leaders of the Democrat Party saying that we need to do exactly what Donald Trump and his administration are doing with these narco terrorists. You know who actually said that? Joe Biden. This is Uncle Joe from 1989.
Every president for the past 2 decades, Democrat and Republican alike, has declared war on drugs. And each of them has lost that war and lost it miserably. They lost because they attempted to deal with only part of the drug problem. They lost because their initiatives were pulled apart by bureaucratic squabbling among their advisors. They lost because they always did too little and they did it too late. We don't oppose the president's plan. All we want to do is strengthen it. We don't doubt his resolve. All we want to do is stiffen it. The trouble is that the president's proposals are not big enough to deal with the problem. We think we should do more to stem the flow of drugs across our borders, and we think we should go one step further. Let's go after the drug lords where they live.
Oh.
With an international strike force.
Oh.
There must be no safe haven for these narco-terrorists, and they must know it. We have to lock up the dealers for a long, long time, and we have to attack the source from which the drugs come. And we have to do that not a piece at a time, but all at once. And we have to do it now. And there's not any reason why we can't do that. We have the power, we have the money, and we have the knowledge.
I'd vote for that guy. What the hell happened to that guy? You know, it's funny. You ever want to know how far left the Democrat Party has gone? Just pull up clips from Democrats a decade ago, 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago, and you'll be like, what has happened to this country? We used to be a proper country. But now they're doing mental gymnastics, telling us, listen, guys, the people in the boats, they're not narco terrorists. They're not traffickers. They're just good boys trying to raise some money for their family by pumping fentanyl into the United States. So, countless deaths would come from that. But come on, who cares about that, right? I'm of the opinion we need to go even harder. I think that we need to go find the manufacturing plants and attack those. Drone strike them. I think we need to go scorched earth. When you look at this country and what's happening in so many of our major cities, we have an episode of The Walking Dead happening in pretty much every major city because of the drugs that are being pumped in. We've seen a generation of Americans completely removed from society because of the drugs and the opioids and the fentanyl. I'm over it. And I'm grateful that the president and this administration are going on offense. And President Trump just yesterday said, we're not going far enough. And we will be going and moving towards land strikes. He said this yesterday inside the Oval Office. I'll bring you those comments from the president on the way. It's 9:21. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hello, it's Chris Hand for USS. United Structural Systems. These are my guys, the guys that I trust with foundation repair, with waterproofing. We got more rain coming into the area tonight. Could be snow in some places. Snow melts, spoiler alert. So it might not leak right away, but it will eventually. And if you're getting that water into your crawl space and into your basement, this is a major issue. It might seem like it's not a big deal because the water dries up eventually. But every time the rain comes back, so does the problem. And that water getting into your crawl space and into your basement is going to lead to huge problems. What could be a quick fix today could be something much more of a headache tomorrow. See, that water is going to lead to wood rot. The wood rot leads to foundation issues. Foundation issues, man, that's going to mess up the entire home. The water could also lead to mold. Do you want your family breathing that stuff in? No, of course not. So if you've been kicking the can down the road, stop it. Call United Structural Systems today. These guys are going to come in. They're not going to send a sales guy. They're going to send an expert. If it's a quick fix, they'll tell you. If it's something a little bit more hands-on, they can do that as well. 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. USS, they're the people that we trust at USSTN.com.
Coming up here on Super Talk 99.7, an update on the arrest of the pipe bomb suspect. Also, Matt Van Epps hits the ground running as Tennessee's newest congressman. That and more at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Hey, how are you? Show is live. iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch it as well. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, the big ones, YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. Why would we want to watch a radio show on the TV, on the YouTube? We have video for all the audio elements that you hear. I think that the video always adds a little something extra.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know I do that around my house now.
Do you really?
Like, it's like baked into my brain.
I've done my job.
Like, my wife will be like, can you take out the trash? Oh, yeah. Please stop. Please stop, Chris. All right. President Trump, will you be bombing these narco terrorists on land?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. President Trump saying this yesterday inside the Oval Office.
If you look at our numbers, the drugs coming in through sea are down 91%. I'm surprised there's 9%. I don't know who's doing the 9%, but it's down 91, and we're going to start very soon on land, and I'm sure you're thrilled to hear that.
Ooh, I happen to be thrilled about that, actually. I want to go on offense against all of these cartels. I want to clean up all of it. It's a pretty wild day when the president says we're going to be starting on land soon, by the way. Imagine the fake news, what they're going to say, the hand-wringing, the whining, the crying. By the way, Venezuela and Maduro, they have agreed to start taking the illegal aliens back, which is nice. They're gonna let the planes land. Thank you, sir. President Trump was asked, is the pressure campaign that you're putting on Venezuela working?
Mr. President, switching to Venezuela for a second, have you checked back with President Maduro? I mean, is your pressure campaign working? And do you think how's he responding to your demand that he leave the country?
It's not pressure campaign. It's much beyond that, I think. But I spoke to him briefly, just told him a couple of things. We'll see what happens with that. Venezuela sends us drugs, but Venezuela sends us people that they shouldn't be sending. They emptied their prisons into our country.
Facts.
They sent us killers, murderers. They sent us drug dealers at the highest level. They sent us gang members. They sent us people from their mental institutions. They emptied their mental institutions into our country. And so did other countries, because we had stupid people running this country. Really?
He's not wrong. We had dumb, stupid idiots. Dad, we don't say stupid. I'm sorry. Just repeating the president. On the way, Stephen Miller pointing out the hypocrisy from the left. You have Democrats who are actively pushing for sedition. You've seen the video, Alyssa Slotkin, Mark Kelly. Please don't follow illegal orders. What orders are you discussing? Stephen Miller says, okay, so you're pushing the military to defy the president, and at the same time, you're defending the narco terrorists. Make it make sense. I'll bring you those comments from Stephen Miller on the way. Plus, Marco Rubio weighs in as well. It's 9:31. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You want me to jump in and do the music for you?
I'd give money to hear it, Chris. It is 9:31. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And our top story this morning from ABC News.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. An arrest in Northern Virginia related to the January 6th Capitol attack. The FBI says it has picked up a man suspected of planting pipe bombs at the headquarters of the Democratic and Republican National Parties in Washington. Here's ABC News' Pierre Thomas with more on the investigation.
Sources tell us the suspect was arrested at his home this morning. Authorities believe he is the person seen on these various surveillance camera videos walking around the Capitol wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, a mask, and a pair of Nike Air Max sneakers. The bombs were found roughly 16 hours after they were placed, discovered at a critical moment, just minutes before hundreds of supporters of President Trump began breaching barricades outside of the U.S. Capitol.
Investigators have been looking for that person seen on the surveillance cameras for years, and for a while they weren't even sure if there was a clear connection between the pipe bombs and the riot itself. This is ABC News.
And another big story this morning on the floor of the House of Representatives.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation
And with that, Matt Van Epps officially became a member of Congress this morning. Republicans now hold a 220 to 213 majority in the lower chamber, but that margin will shrink again next month when Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene exits Congress. That'll happen on January 5th. That is the latest news. We've got your weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 9:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN 9:38. Of course, the clock changes right after I say it, which makes me pushing fake news.
We're used to it.
At least I'm not like double timing it back in Arizona still. You remember when I would do the show in Arizona and I just would not know what time it was?
Yeah, but now you have no excuse.
I have no excuse now. That's fair. Now I just get it wrong. So it's great. Hey, we're waiting for updates on the arrest of the J6 pipe bombing suspect. They got him.
Hey, I have a name for
Allegedly.
you now.
A name. Ooh.
Yeah. They've just released the name Brian Cole. Brian Cole's his name. Now, we don't know an age or if he was picked up in Northern Virginia, but it's not clear if he lived there in Northern Virginia.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I just keep grabbing little bits as I go along, and hopefully we'll put this together soon. He's supposed to make a court appearance today.
Well, that's kind of what I'm waiting for. I haven't seen any of the video or the audio on the court appearance. So as soon as we get that information, we'll break in with it live. Joan, if you see any updates, just feel free to interrupt me because I think that's the biggest story of the day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know how any story is bigger than that. We have been talking about a couple other stories. We're going to be diving into Somalia, Somali soda, Mina Somalia. What do you prefer?
I like Somali soda.
Somali soda.
I like that too, yeah.
Somali soda. It flows. But like Mina Somalia, that I think you lose the Minnesota flavor.
That's true.
Don't you know?
Yeah, I was going to say it in the Minnesota accent, then I think you could nail it.
Oh, Mina Somalia, don't you know? I just channel my inner Bobby's World. 90s kids get it. 90s kids get it. Side note, that was a great show. It's just an awesome show.
I only saw the reruns.
I saw it live.
I was there in the trenches.
I was in the trenches, baby. All right, so we were talking about Venezuela. President Trump has said that they're going to be doing land strikes soon. I'm here for it. You had Martha Raddatz last night on ABC saying the quiet part out loud. They weren't fishermen. It reminds me of Kilmar breakup. Maryland man. It's no, you're not fishing. You're not fishing, with your speedboat and the maybe actually, you know what? What's the average weight of a fish? Because they had about 20,000 plastic wrapped, and it looked like each of those things were about one kilogram. Is the average weight of a fish in that ocean 1 kilogram exactly on the dot? Maybe it was fish. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, maybe they're trimming up the fish and wrapping them precisely.
Maybe
for the way home.
Very well could be. So Martha Raddatz gets on ABC News last night, and she says, "Turns out the dreaded double tap wasn't a war crime because the combatants were getting back into the boat. They were trying to recover the drugs. They were showing that they were still in the fight." I have one issue with it. And a super texter brought this up, and I just could only respond with facts. He said, my only issue, we're not using the right bombs if there's a boat for them to get back into. Hey, hard to argue with that. Hard to argue with that indeed. So we're going to see land strikes soon. Sign me up. And I hope they expand. I hope they go everywhere. South America is littered with these cartels. It's ripe for the picking. The harvest is there. Go get them. Go get them. Business is booming if you're in the business of blowing up narco terrorists. There's a lot of business out there, a lot of potential, a lot of untapped leads, if you catch my drift. And I'm of the opinion that with our intelligence networks, we know exactly where they are, who they are, and when and what they're doing. So take them out. Send a message. The governments of South America have had plenty of time to do just that. Some have done a hell of a job. Shout out to El Salvador, Nayib Bukele. How about Javier Milei in Argentina? I mean, we got some good ones. But to the ones that aren't willing to do the job, looking at you, Claudia Sheinbaum in Mexico, how about we do that for them? I think that we don't stop at Venezuela. I think we expand even further. And I've said many, many times, this is a war that I can get behind. It's time to stop letting our streets be flooded with fentanyl. Why aren't we doing more? Stephen Miller last night was calling out the hypocrisy. You have Democrats calling for the military to disobey the president of the United States. And at the same time, these same Democrats are defending the narco-terrorists. They're declaring them fishermen. They're fishermen. They're fishermen. They're not fishermen. Just like Kilmar Abrego Garcia was not a Maryland man. But Stephen Miller pointing out the hypocrisy last night with Jesse Waters on Fox.
No, this is the first time I can ever think where a major political party has sided with narco trafficking, murdering, terrorist scum.
Fisherman. It's a fisherman, sir. That's what the liberals want you to know. Fisherman.
You know, you play one of those clips from a Democrat who said, oh, there's no such thing as a narco-terrorist. They're just narco-persons. The
narco people.
ISIS and these narco-terrorists in our hemisphere use the same tactics. They use rape as a weapon. They skin people alive. They cut off their heads. They burn them to death. These narco-terrorists, if a politician opposes them, they kidnap their family.
Nothing he's saying is wrong. And we have numerous examples. When Joe Biden had the wide open border, they found rape trees. Do you remember this? The cartels are moving all these people and they find rape trees. And the rape trees were undergarments of the women and the children that they were trafficking here into the United States. Rape trees. In America, when these monsters get let in, we would get stories out of Aurora, Colorado, where Trende Aragua would be extorting individuals for their rent money. And if they didn't pay up to these terrorist organizations, well, they were removing women's fingernails with pliers. They're fishermen. That's a classic fishing technique, I guess. It's insane. The Democrats defend this.
Moving scales the same way on fish, right?
It's the same thing. They're just doing the same thing.
Coincidence? I think not.
It's just fisherman things. Hashtag
just
fisherman things.
If they don't give them what they want, they murder their family. You can go to the Border Patrol here in the United States and you can say, draw me a map of the border, and on the Mexican side, tell me which cartel controls every inch of territory. And the border agents can literally say, mile by mile, which cartel controls which section of the border. Not the Mexican government. They don't control it. Which cartel? When President Trump declared these organizations foreign terrorist organizations, that wasn't just a talking point.
Amen.
That wasn't just a buzzword.
Thank you.
It was a promise from this president to use hard American power to kill and to stop these terrorists, these enemies of the United States, from killing our families, from killing our children, from taking over our communities. And that's what President Trump is doing.
And kudos to him for doing it. To have the balls to go out there and do that. Thank you. We've been clamoring for this. We've seen what these drugs have done to our inner cities. We've seen what they've done to so many regions. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Like I like start isolating area. No, it's everywhere. It's West Virginia. It's Los Angeles. It's Philadelphia. It's Portland. I mean, like it is everywhere. Everywhere. So yes, I am a huge fan of this. Yes, I am a huge fan of blowing up narco-terrorists. Fishermen. It's weird. I've never seen somebody fish in a submarine before. It's an interesting technique, actually. It's quite the style points. Stephen Miller, though, he continued, and he kind of lays out what we've all been talking about. It is nice to see the President of the United States worrying about what's happening in our hemisphere. Not endless Middle East quagmires, not really overly focusing on how many billions we can send to Ukraine this week, but focusing on problems that are affecting America. These drugs are killing our kids. And yes, some of these drug addicts have made terrible decisions, but sometimes it's a 16-year-old kid who gets a wild hair at a party to try a Percocet, and that Percocet is knockoff, and it's fentanyl. First time they're trying something like that, last time they've tried something like that. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Go on offense. That's what we're here for, and that's what we're seeing. Thank you to this administration for doing such. Stephen Miller continued. Finally, defending our hemisphere, finally defending our homeland.
Doesn't get more crystal clear than that. The mission is take out the boat, stop the drugs, keep this vessel and its cargo from reaching our shore using lethal means. And our amazing military, the heroes of the United States Armed Forces, did exactly that. President Trump, Secretary Hegseth, and this entire government are committed to finally using our military to defend our people, our borders, our family,
Amen.
our culture, our history, our heritage, to defend the United States. We're not going off running around the Middle East trying to build democracies in caves and deserts and in distant sands that have never known democracy. We're using the military to protect American security, American prosperity, American lives right here where we live, where our children live, Jesse.
Well, amen. And this is what we need to do. You know, you'll hear Democrats when we're talking about mass deportations, and they'll be like, but that's a future doctor. That's a future rocket scientist. And I just think to myself, what about the baby in the Florida Airbnb who was doing nothing but crawling on the floor, and some lunatic had left fentanyl there, and the baby crawls over the fentanyl and overdoses and dies? Is that not a future doctor? What about the 13-year-old, like I just mentioned, who gets a wild hair at a party to try something new? Is that not a future lawyer? Can we look out for our people first? It's about damn time. It's about damn time that we worry about what's happening in our hemisphere and stop being the world police. Marco Rubio echoed those same statements yesterday during a Fox News interview. I believe this was with Hannity. I think it might have been with Hannity. But Rubio said, you know, if we were to deploy aircraft carriers in the Middle East, nobody bats an eye. But we do it in our hemisphere, everybody loses their minds.
Also, you know, it's interesting. If an aircraft carrier of the United States was deployed off the coast of Japan, or was the coast on the Pacific somewhere, or was deployed in the Mediterranean, or in somewhere off the coast of Europe, everybody would be happy because it would show America's commitment to our security partnerships that we have around the world. But somehow if an aircraft carrier and our naval assets are deployed in our own hemisphere, that's problematic. I would say that if you're focused on America and America first, you start with your own hemisphere where we live. What happens here, I'm not saying things that are happening halfway around the world are not important. I'm saying what happens in our hemisphere impacts us faster and more deeply than something that's happening halfway around the world.
Amen. And if we can cut off the flow of the fentanyl, if we can cut off the flow of the opioids, this country is going to be better for it. I want to see more, not less. Salty liberal tears be damned. Your boos mean nothing because we've seen what makes you cheer. President Trump was elected on a mandate. This is part of it. This is absolutely part of it. Is this what you voted for? Blowing up fishermen? Actually, yeah. Unironically. It's exactly what I voted for. 951, Super Talk, 99.7, WTN. Hit like and subscribe, by the way. Got to get those likes up. Christmas is here. And if the kids want good Christmas gifts, I told them. I said, we got to get the likes up. We got to get the likes up. I said, Dad, please don't base it on the likes. I said, no. It's all on the likes. It's all on the subscribes. It's really, the ball's in your court, audience. Hey, it's Busy Bee. It's Chris Hand for Busy Bee Plumbing. I'm sorry. I don't mean to go off on a tangent. It's Chris Hand here for Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. These guys always do great things during the holiday season. They're kicking it up a notch for Christmas. I love what they're doing. They don't want any kid in Wilson County to go without something under the tree this year. If it was my house, you know, the likes and subscribes, they'd probably pull something out for me too, because these guys are great. But they're having a toy drive. All jokes aside, this is an important thing. This is an important time of year. Busy Bee is stepping up. They're going to be having a toy drive at their headquarters in Lebanon. It's happening right now. Drop off a new toy. It'll stay right there in Wilson County and make sure that there is magic under the tree for every kid in Wilson County this holiday season. And while you're thinking about everybody else, think about your home as well. If you upgrade your water heater in December, Busy Bee is going to give you a free 10-year parts warranty. Exclusions apply, but this is going to be a real deal. It's actually going to save you money long term. They're also giving away free Beehive Club memberships. All you got to do is just bake a Buzz the Bee cookie, post it on social media, tag Busy Bee. That's it. You're in. That is an unbelievable deal. Plus, you get the cookies. If your air ducts need some attention, book a cleaning. You buy the mid-tier package, they'll bump you up to the deluxe package for free. Got a clogged main line? The 93 or free special still happening. That means they clear it or you don't pay. That's Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. BusyBeeHVAC.com.
The name of the pipe bomb suspect now released. We're going to bring you the latest from Washington, D.C. Also, why a Navy admiral is being questioned on Capitol Hill today. That and more at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Mason Fleming is producing. You can watch the show. Super Talk TV is up and running. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. As we're seeing the media landscape evolve, this is a huge priority for us. And I talk about it all the time, but we really do need your help. If you like WTN, you like what we provide to you, even if you don't use YouTube, go on over there and hit like and subscribe. It does help us out. And I know I harp on it a lot, and I kid, but the future of these radio stations depend on this kind of stuff. Just full disclosure. So please, if you like WTN, find us on YouTube and Rumble and subscribe to the channel. Getting a lot of reaction from individuals on the text line. 3565 texted in, and he said, thank you for saying what you said about the Percocet. I had mentioned that, there's a lot of kids that are getting fentanyl-laced drugs. And, like we all understand what kids do. We've all been there. You try cocaine at a party, or you try a Percocet. You're doing dumb stuff because you're a dumb kid. Things happen. But then in today, 2025, you find out all too soon that wasn't what you thought it was. It was actually fentanyl. And so I mentioned the story about the Percocet. And 3565 texted and he said, my best friend lost her 17-year-old son 4 years ago on Mother's Day after he took what he thought was a Percocet. She found him overdosed on the floor of his bedroom after she broke his door down. His face was purple, foam coming out of his mouth. After about 15 days of him being a vegetable, they decided to pull him off life support and let him die naturally. It's one of the most heartbreaking things I've watched my friend go through. Thank you for bringing light to that. These stories are so plentiful. Like, they're everywhere. And it's awful. They hand-wring about these fishermen, air quotes if you're not watching on Supertalk TV. But they never tell you the real destruction about what's happening because of the drugs pouring into our country, because of these cartels, because of these narco-terrorists. You have to go find that on your own. You got to dig for the reality of what's happening, or just go walk around any major city's downtown area. It's like an episode of The Walking Dead. You'll find it. You'll see it. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And they defend it. They defend it. These people are evil. I don't know how you can call it anything other than pure evil. On the way, we'll switch things up a little bit. We'll talk about the latest in Minnesota, Somalia. It's insane. And we'll also be talking about President Trump tackling affordability. The Democrats have been yelling a lot about affordability, but they seem to forget all the different ways the Biden administration made everything in this country less affordable. Weird. That's on the way as well. Hang out with us. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the show. 1001 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We now have a name. The man who was arrested in the early morning hours in Northern Virginia, suspected of being the so-called pipe bomber, has been identified as a man named Brian Cole.
Briancole. We're not sure on an age or a specific residence, but picked up in Northern Virginia, the suburbs of D.C., just a few hours ago this morning, in the custody right now of the FBI.
That's David Spunt of Fox News. Now, this man is thought to be the person seen on grainy video placing bombs in front of the Republican and Democratic National Headquarters in Washington, D.C., the night before the Capitol riot on January 6, 2021. We are waiting for a news conference on this matter for more information. Happening today, Navy Admiral Mitch Bradley is heading to Capitol Hill to be briefed by top lawmakers on the Trump administration's strikes on boats in the Caribbean, allegedly ferrying drugs to the U.S. Now, he'll answer questions most assuredly about the so-called double-tap targeting of an alleged drug-running boat in international waters. Bradley is head of U.S. Special Operations Command. Navy veteran Eric Ulrich speaking to ABC News about the Admiral.
Admiral Bradley is an example of the very best of what is in the U.S. military. And he is a man extremely grounded in morality, backing. I've never seen anything that even comes close to lines of legality. And absolutely, he has a moral fiber to stand up if he believes that something is not right.
Overnight, new information that the two men who survived the first strike had climbed back into that boat and were in communication with others in the area. They had been attempting to salvage the drugs, making them a valid target.
The fish. They were looking out. They were trying to salvage the fish.
Right. That's all. Because they were fishermen.
Thank you.
Yes. In Putnam County, 4 people have been arrested after police busted a drug operation within their home in Monterey with a 15-month-old baby in the residence. WSMV4's Marius Payton.
Putnam County Sheriff's deputies went to the suspected drug house on Old Walton Road after getting several complaints about heavy traffic at the house. Responding officers found fentanyl, meth, a large amount of cash, and 2 guns within reach of the child. That child is now in DCS custody.
That's the 4 have been charged with drug and firearm charges, but also with aggravated child abuse, neglect, and endangerment. Just moments ago, President Trump issued a proclamation marking today as a day of respect for the memory of Specialist Sarah Beckham. She's, of course, the West Virginia, make that Beckstrom. She's the West Virginia Army National Guards person who was killed in a targeted attack on the streets of Washington, D.C. The president ordering flags be flown at half-staff until sunset today. That is the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
It's 10:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. You can listen to the show anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch the show. That's the best option. YouTube and Rumble, those are the best platforms. Hit like, hit subscribe, and share the show with your friends. All the digital platforms that you could be listening on have a share button. Please help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. And if you're watching on the stream, you get all the video in addition to all of the audio that you hear on your radio. Somalia, Somali soda. potato. You know, they both flow. They both flow. Everybody's got their own favorite. I'm a Minnesota guy myself.
I'm right there with you.
Joan likes Somali soda. I got people on the text line. They're split. Maybe we do a YouTube poll. What should it be called? Minnesota Somali soda. Either way, the guys running that state are going to have some splaining to do. Tim Walz, Attorney General Keith Ellison, they are going to be investigated by Congress for allowing the fraud that we've been seeing perpetuated by the Somalians to happen en masse. This is according to Fox News.
President Trump and Republicans are railing against Governor Tim Walz, and the House Oversight Committee, which has launched its own investigation into the fraud, is now requesting documents, records, and communications from both Walz and State Attorney General Keith Ellison after reports they and other state officials may have been warned and ignored those warnings, allowing this fraud to happen.
I mean, we know that they were warned and that they ignored those warnings. It was the Department of the DHS in Minnesota, which answers indirectly to the governor. There's a step in between, but DHS, they answer to the governor. They raised the red flag on the fraud that was happening. And Tim Walz said, I'm sorry. We're enjoying the smell of burning tires from the riots, so we can't deal with that right now. Something like that, I'm sure. They don't want to investigate this. I would think maybe somebody somewhere is getting some kickbacks somehow, some way. I just a gut feeling, just an opinion. But they're going to be looked into.
The state employees in Minnesota rang the bell. They blew the whistle that there was massive fraud, and yet Tim Walz and Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, apparently turned a blind eye to that for fear of political retaliation from the large voting bloc of Somalis.
Yeah, close to 80,000 Somalis live in Minnesota. They have become a powerful voting bloc for Democrats. But there are now multiple federal investigations into this fraud. Folks close to those cases tell us that what we've seen so far may be just the tip of the iceberg.
Keep hearing that. Tip of the iceberg. Tip of the iceberg. Big iceberg under there. We only got the tip. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to see how these investigations pan out. Anthony in Nashville wants to talk about Minnesota. What's up, Anthony?
Good morning, Chris. How are you guys doing?
I'm good, man. How are you? What do you got?
I'm kind of with you guys as far as just it's so refreshing just to know that even though it's just the tip, that it finally it's being cracked open. You know, it's mind blowing to just know how long this has been going on for. And
yeah, I'm with you 100%, man, and I appreciate the call. It is refreshing to see that we're getting some investigations. It is refreshing to see the fraud exposed, and we know it's been going on for a long time. ICE is now surging the area. Kristi Noem, was it 2 days ago at the cabinet meeting? She said 50% of the Somali community, that 80,000 voter block, 50% are on overstaying their visas. They're not here legally. That's weird, which leads to an increased surge of ICE operations in the area.
ICE is ramping up operations in the Twin Cities as well, and Garrett Tenney watching that for us. And where are we now? Garrett, good morning to you.
Yeah, Bill, good morning to you. Federal agents are now on the ground in the Twin Cities, focusing on the Somali community and anyone who is in the country illegally. We know they have been stopping some folks out on the street asking for their IDs, also going door to door looking for specific individuals. All of this, as you mentioned, comes after those massive fraud schemes in Minnesota that involved mostly folks from the Somali community, fraudulently charging the state more than $1 billion for social services that were never performed. When Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who's become the face of the Somali community in Minnesota, was asked why the fraud got so out of control, she said this.
Some people did some things? Is that what she said? Did she say some people did some things?
I think what happened is that, you know, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate. And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
So the fraud's okay because there weren't guardrails? So the programs were set up so quickly that, I mean, what do you expect? Somali's going to steal. So it's really the federal government's fault at the end of the day. Good point. Great point. Let's go to Heather in Gallatin. What's up, Heather? How are you?
Oh, hi. No, I concur with Amy. I was staying in Minneapolis and got to take a red eye around Christmas in 2020. And I remember we showed up at the airport in Minneapolis at like 4 a.m. because, and there was nobody there except about 10,000 Somalians flying in. Like they were going both ways. And we came back from that trip with COVID. And now I'm curious about COVID numbers. Like, were they one of the first spikes? Would this be kind of...
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure that's all going to get flushed out in the investigation, but it's a heck of a thought, and I appreciate the call. All I do know, though, is that investigations are underway. ICE is on the ground, and the local officials there are very upset about it. Somali Minneapolis council member Jamal Osman was on CNN, and I don't know how you describe this. Do you describe this as panicked that they're coming after the Somalis and the fraud and the illegal nature of their being here?
Growth in this state, they have contributed a lot to the state of Minnesota and the city of Minneapolis.
List those things they've contributed.
And yes, folks have done, horrible things, and people have committed crimes, but we should not be pointing the entire community in one brush and being singled out as fellow Americans. There's a justice, there's a process of due process, and I believe those folks have been dealt with by.
Here's one of my issues. He said fellow Americans. I think we need a citation on that. If you're here and you don't believe in the Constitution, you're not interested in assimilating, and you're stealing American tax dollars, I don't know if I consider you a fellow American. If you're here on an overstayed visa and you're lying about your kid having autism so that way you can milk some money off the taxpayer teat, I don't know if I'd consider you a fellow American. Maybe it's just me.
The state leaders, and but now President Donald Trump singling out and attacking one group of people, and ICE being on our streets and asking people documentation. It feels like we are in 1930s, 1940s in Germany. Never thought there would be a time where I will tell my community to carry their passport around because you look like Somali. You might be stopped by ICE.
Oh my gosh, it's like 1930s Germany all over again. Oh no. This stuff is so ridiculous. 50% of your community is here illegally. That'd be 40,000 of the 80,000 in Minnesota. That's ripe for the picking, man. We need ICE agents on the streets. And furthermore, they're going out there with targets in mind. They have individuals that they're going after. It's not random. They're not like, hey, you, get over here. That's not how it's going on. But if you happen to be with one of those individuals, yeah, you may have your maybe ask for your ID. Okay. Am I supposed to feel bad for that? Am I supposed to feel like a horrible person for supporting ICE and the deportation operations, the immigration enforcement? That's what they want you to do. That's what the emotional manipulation is being laid there for. It's 1930s Germany. It's not. It's not, actually. Not one bit. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? It's like 1930s Germany. Really. I mean, I see things like this. I saw the Minneapolis Police Department tell their citizens that they're backing them over ICE, and they issued the statement in the Somali language.
waa fahanay Soomaa arinta kale ku soo xigta waxay tahay hadii qof u maleynaysid inuu aad hubin inuu yahay dawladda inuu ka soco sida ICE oo kale inuu yahay ama uu yahay.
It's 1930s Germany, they yell. I'm wondering, what year is this in America? What is this? What the hell is this? You're issuing a statement in the Somali language to say that we're backing Somalis against ICE? How about you issue a statement in the Somali language that says, if you're here illegally, you need to leave. If you're violating the laws of this country, you don't belong here. If you came here for a better life and you decided that the pathway to that better life was ripping off the American taxpayers, we don't want you. It's as simple as. But again, I digress. It gets worse, though. You know, they keep saying, they're painting us with a broad brush. How could they do this? How could they paint us with a broad brush? Representative Tom Emmer out of Minnesota, he was on Fox Business yesterday. And he said it's even worse. It's not even just like the fraud, which is unreal, billions of dollars. Insane. It's not the overstaying of visas, which is unreal. Kirsty Noem said 50%. 50% of the Somalis have overstayed their visa. Half. 1 out of 2. He said, Tom Emmer got on Fox Business, he said 80% of the crimes, 80% of crime being committed in the Twin Cities is being committed by who? I don't want to paint with a broad brush. I don't want to paint with Somalis.
I'm just grateful that you're reporting it. And the reason that it's getting reported is because Donald Trump, President Trump, finally made this a national issue when he sent out a truth a couple weeks ago. We've been trying to sound the alarm in Minnesota for more than 3 years. Everybody's focused right now on $1 billion plus in fraud that has been stolen from Minnesota taxpayers, and a lot of it allegedly has been sent to al-Shabaab back in Somalia, a terrorist group. But you know what we're not talking about today? Do you realize that, it's not that all Somalis are committing crimes, but 80% of the crimes being committed in the Twin Cities in Minnesota are being committed by Somalis.
What? What? 80% of the crimes being committed in Minnesota are being committed by Somalis. I'll say it again for those of you in the back of the class that weren't paying attention. You're just scrolling. 80% of the crimes in the Twin Cities are being committed by Somalis. How dare you paint us with a broad brush? How dare you?
And by the way, the FBI has been investigating Somali gangs in the Twin Cities now for months. I am grateful that President Trump has raised this to a national issue. This is it's kind of like a small version of what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were doing at our southern border for the last 4 years. Tim Walz is as corrupt as and incompetent as the day is long. You got $1 billion of fraud. You got the largest fraud case pandemic fraud case in the country.
And it's going to be dealt with, hopefully, as quickly as possible. 80% of the crimes. How dare you paint with a broad brush, sir? How dare... They're not Somalis. That's American. Oh. Yikes. Yeah, I tend to disagree. Tom Emmer had more to say about Tim Walz, the governor of the great state of Minnesota, don't you know? And President Trump has some things to say about Minnesota, Governor Walz, Ilhan Omar, and more. Plus, a new challenger has filed paperwork to go for the governorship of the state of Minnesota. I don't think he'll win, but we'll talk about that as well on the way. A lot to get to. We'll get to your phone calls as well. 615-737-9986. Larry, I see you holding. I'll get to you next, man. It's 1022 on Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
His name is Brian Cole, the alleged pipe bomber in Washington, D.C. the night before the Capitol riot in 2021. And a dog attack in Tullahoma with a devastating outcome. That and more at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. 10:26, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's Chris Hand. Mason Fleming's producing. Jones in the newsroom, obviously. You guys on the phone lines, the text lines, the super chats there in the YouTube. We appreciate you.
People be texting.
People be texting. Well, that's the first time you've used that one. Mason, sometimes he puts in new hotkeys, and people don't think it'd be like it is, but it do. So
I need a good recording of that too.
Yeah, people don't think it'd be like it is, but it do. Talking about Minnesota, President Trump has been talking about this for a long time. This was 2015, I believe.
Here in Minnesota, you've seen firsthand the problems caused with faulty refugee vetting, with large numbers of Somali refugees coming into your state without your knowledge, without your support or approval, and with some of them then joining ISIS and spreading their extremist views all over our country and all over the world. Honestly, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe.
Well, believe it. President Trump is right about everything. Larry in Spring Hill. What's up, Larry? How we doing, man?
Oh, doing great. How you doing today?
I'm good. What do you got?
Well, you're talking an awful lot about this, and I actually worked in North Minneapolis, South Minneapolis, before the riots, 2005 to 2010, and worked in the Muslim community there, selling. I was a convenience store gas station salesperson, and so I worked a lot with these people, and it goes much deeper than just this little bit of fraud that you're talking about. What these people, how they've gained the system is just unbelievable. Small Business Administration loans. They come in, they fly in, and the Small Business Administration hands them a basket of money. Here, go start your grocery store. 6 months later, as the supplier, we're sitting there holding the bill for several $1,000s, and these people just close up and they're gone. They're back overseas. There's nothing to go after. They're gone. They take all that money and go with, and their cousin Raul is now in there.
It's insane.
This goes. There are so many different ways that they are defrauding the American taxpayers in these communities. It rattles the mind. You just wouldn't believe it unless you actually been out there and worked in the business and been on the street dealing with these people. And a lot of those times, a lot of those places, these people were so bad, we had to get in and get out. I'm just, not to be racist or anything, but I'm just an average white boy. You got in and you got out before 10 o'clock in the morning before these people started coming out and milling around because you became feeling very unsafe. And I'm a 6'3", pretty good sized boy. And I would even feel unsafe going into those places.
That's crazy, man. Well, I appreciate the call and I appreciate the insight. I will say this administration's paying attention to that kind of stuff. Actually, Larry brought up the small businesses. President Trump's administration is using the head of the U.S. Small Business Administration to order an investigation into the state for that exact reason. So people are paying attention, not just you, Larry, but I do appreciate your insight. We got a couple more people waiting to call, waiting to get on the air. JJ is a former Minnesotan. JJ, hang on the line. I'll take your call first when we get back. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Federal authorities arresting a Virginia man in connection with the placement of 2 pipe bombs outside the headquarters of the Republican and Democratic National Committees the night before the January 6th attack at the U.S. Capitol. Now, we don't know much about this person's identity, but we do know that his name is Brian Cole.
The arrest comes nearly 5 years after the discovery of the pipe bombs outside the RNC and DNC headquarters on the afternoon of January 6th, roughly 16 hours after they were placed by a suspect who was seen on various surveillance cameras. The suspect is expected to face charges for allegedly planting the devices, which investigators later determined were viable explosives that, if detonated, could have resulted in, quote, serious injury or death, marking an extraordinary development in one of the most high-profile federal investigations in recent history. It's not clear the full scope of evidence that authorities have gathered, allegedly tying the suspect to the planting of the bombs. An FBI official confirmed the arrest to ABC News. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
A devastating day in Tullahoma yesterday after a dog attack that killed an infant and a man. News Channel 5's Elisheva Wemberly.
A quiet afternoon on East Warren Street in Tullahoma took a tragic turn on Wednesday, as police say an infant and an adult man were killed after being attacked by several dogs inside a home. Officers, paramedics, and animal control rushed to the scene, where investigators say at least 7 dogs first mauled the baby, and then the man who tried desperately to save the child. Tullahoma Police Chief Chase Sun says the family and his officers are distraught after witnessing such a tragic scene, one that has shaken an entire neighborhood.
Police reportedly shot and killed one of those dogs upon arrival because it attacked them as well. Now, reports do not say what breed of dogs these were. That is the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, it's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock store. Last weekend, they had the big Black Friday, Super Saturday sale. It was unbelievable. A lot of fun. A lot of people won a lot of great prizes, but that's what you expect from a Glock store party. Now that Thanksgiving is over, we're shifting the focus. It's Christmas time, and we got to start thinking about Christmas. First thing you think about when you think about Christmas is the picture with Santa, right? Everybody does. Everybody does. What about we trade out the boring picture with Santa for a picture with Santa who can go on offense? Talking tactical Santa. The type of Santa that wouldn't be afraid to deliver presents in Minneapolis. You know what I mean? Like that kind of Santa. He's going to be at the Glock store this weekend and next weekend. You can get a photo with Tactical Santa, backed by popular demand, December 5th, 6th, 12th, and 13th. Just $25 is going to get you the perfect Christmas card portrait. You and Tactical Santa. You can bring the kids. You can bring the pets. There's going to be unique, appropriate props available for you for this picture. And it's going to be a photo memory that you are going to love. I'm probably going to go down there with the fam and get a Tactical Santa picture. You should do the exact same thing. Tactical Santa this weekend and next, only at the Glock store. Minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere. It's 10:37, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. You can find me on social media, Twitter, True Social, Instagram, TikTok, begrudgingly, and YouTube, at Chris Hand on Air.
Begrudgingly.
Well, I don't, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, like, I don't scroll TikTok.
That's probably for the best.
But I will post content there occasionally.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know.
It jostles the algorithm a little bit if you go and like a couple posts, but...
Do you want me to tickle the algo?
I mean, you got to tickle the algo.
All right, maybe I'll tickle the algo later.
Just a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If you could do us a favor and tickle the algo, hit like, hit subscribe on YouTube and Rumble. It does help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. We've been talking about Somalia, Somali soda, don't you know? Somebody said on the text line, they said Somali soda sounds like an unrefreshing soft drink. It does. It does. JJ's in Portland. She used to live in Minnesota, so she's got a bird's eye view to everything that's been happening there. What do you got, JJ?
Hi, absolutely 100% true what you're saying. We moved primarily to get away from what was happening there. The influx of Somalis coming into the state is unattainable. They get everything for free. I would go into a store and, witness them just pulling out this government-issued card. They could buy food, clothing, whatever they wanted. They would pull up in brand new SUVs. And they don't have just 1, 2, or 3 children. We're talking about 4, 5, 6, 7 children per woman, per family. And the Mall of America was a place that we loved to go for years, but it has been taken over. We now call that like the Somali Mall.
Well, it's crazy. And I've mentioned this a couple times. Like, one of my favorite Christmas movies, it's cheesy. It's Jingle All the Way with Arnold. And it's based in Minnesota. It's like 1996, I think it came out, like right around there. And one of the big scenes is in the Mall of America. And it's like, if you look at that footage and then you look at the Mall of America today in 2025, it's like you're on a completely different planet. Like, you talk about a lot of the Democrats are using talking points of ethnic cleansing. Donald Trump wants to ethnically cleanse America. But I'd be like, did we ethnically cleanse Minneapolis? It feels like that's happening.
Well, look at the difference. Now, we've got 2 groups of people who immigrated to Minnesota. We've got the Hmong and we've got the Somali community. The Hmong have come here and they have assimilated to our way of life. They want to be American. They have strong family values. They're farmers. They learn to speak English.
They don't lie about their kids having autism or feeding the needy.
Correct. We don't have that issue with the Hmong community. They're our neighbors. We have no connection with the Somali community, and our cities have been taken over. They started off in Minneapolis, but they moved into not downtown Minneapolis, but into northeast Minneapolis, and now they're moving out into the suburbs. They've taken over Rochester, where the Mayo Clinic is, and other Moorhead, Minnesota, up by Fargo in the western part of the state. So they're all over the place, and they treat us Americans like we're garbage. I mean, God forbid that, we're in a grocery store and they're walking down the aisle. You better move out of the way because they don't think that we have the right to be there. So they do believe that they are superior to us. And I believe that they should all be sent back to where they came from.
Well, hey, I appreciate your insight and your bird's eye view on that, JJ. Do you think that it's salvageable? What's happened to Minnesota? Is the state salvageable? Are those cities, can they be fixed?
I pray that it can be fixed, but we moved here. So what does that tell you?
I hear you. Well, welcome and appreciate the call. Call anytime. 615-737-9986. I played a clip of Tom Emmer. He's the House Minority Whip, I think it is, right? No, House Majority Whip, excuse me. He's Republican out of Minnesota. Tom Emmer was going scorched earth on Tim Walz, but he had more to say during this interview on Fox News. This is Tom Emmer. And again, he's in the state. He's watching it happen. Not happy about it.
Is not racist and it's not unfair. Look, this guy is pathetic. He is
Governor
incompetent.
Walz.
He's a pathological, sociopathic liar. He lies about everything. Got caught on national TV, Bill, lying about something as dumb as when he was at Tiananmen Square. And his response to that back then was, I grew up in a small town. Sometimes I'm a bit of a knucklehead. Look, My hat is off to President Donald J. Trump. We have been trying to sound the alarm on this fraud that has been going on since the beginning of the Walz administration for more than 3 years. And it wasn't until Donald Trump sent his truth out a couple weeks ago that everybody started paying attention. You have correctly pointed out, it's already more than $1 billion that these fraudsters stole from Minnesota taxpayers under Tim Walz's watch, and the number is growing. It's not just the $250 million fraud case, the largest pandemic fraud case in the country that's feeding our future. It's Medicaid housing fraud. You go back, it's autism centers, the list goes on and on, daycare fraud. But let's just look at the housing one. The Medicaid housing program was created back in 2020. They estimated it was going to cost annually about $2 million. You know what? From 2020 to 2024, it was $100 million, and they shut the program down in October of 2025 because from the beginning of the year, they'd already sucked out $61 million.
It's like the meme where the dog is sitting in the chair and the house is on fire, and he's saying, "This is fine.
It's fine.
This is fine. This is good." Tim Walz, Tom Emmer says he lies about everything. Remember the stolen valor? I remember that. Remember when Kamala Harris thought that this guy was a good choice for VP because he's a regular guy? Don't you know? Don't you know? President Trump yesterday inside the Oval Office, he was going in on Governor Tim.
Walz he should be ashamed. That beautiful land, that beautiful state, it's a hellhole right now. And the Somalians should be out of here. They've destroyed our country. And all they do is complain, complain, complain. You have her. She's always talking about the Constitution provides me with... go back to your own country and figure out your Constitution.
I mean, listen, it's harsh, but it's tough love. It's the truth. The Ilhan Omar, it drives me nuts. If you had stayed in Somalia, guess what would have happened? You would have never reached the heights that you reached in America. Yet now that you're here, all you do is complain about America. You go and you fundraise and you say, "Listen, I'm not even America first. I'm Somalia first." It's disgusting. I don't know how she ever got in Congress. Actually, no, scratch that from the record. I do. It's because they imported 80,000 Somalians into Minnesota. It's the Democrat playbook. The old voters weren't working out, so we're going to import new voters. Insane. He had more to say about Ilhan Omar. I don't know if you noticed this. And maybe I'm just, I'm in tune to what's going on because I do the politics all the time. And you know, maybe you didn't have this observation, but I don't think President Trump likes Ilhan Omar very much. Again, this is just, after years of doing this, I'm able to ascertain these kinds of things.
They have a representative, Ilhan Omar, who they say married her brother. It's a fraud. She tries to deny it now, but you can't really deny it because, you know, it just happened. She shouldn't be allowed to be a congresswoman, and I'm sure people are looking at that, and she should be thrown the hell out of our country.
I agree. We have given that woman everything. This country has provided a path to prosperity for this woman that would have never, ever been possible in Somalia. And what does she do? She craps on it every chance she gets. She does. She responded to the president's comments yesterday. And she said she has a stern warning for MAGA when it comes to Somalians. She's on with Fake Tapper on CNN. It's hilarious. I've been watching the Chyrons on CNN this morning. It's like Trump calls Somalians garbage. Well, yeah, look at what they're doing. They're like, oh, Trump threatens the Somali community. Yep, well, 50% of them are here illegally, and they're committing billions in fraud. So, you know, it's kind of an issue. The Chiron here on CNN, if you're not watching on the stream, says, this is during the interview with Ilhan Omar. Trump escalates attack on Somali migrants. Is pointing out facts that are irrefutable, is that an attack? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is that an attack? I don't think it's an attack. Ilhan Omar certainly does, and she was on with Fake Tapper to talk about it.
Shocking to hear it, although I don't know how shocked you are at this point anymore. But Somali immigrants, in general, you in particular have been the target of his attacks for a long time. What's your response?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not shocked because we know that the president oftentimes resorts to very bigoted, xenophobic, Islamophobic, racist rhetoric when he is trying to scapegoat and deflect.
Scapegoat and deflect. He's a racist. He's a bigot. He's a xenophobe. He's got all the phobes, guys. He's got all the... Who's deflecting here? Who's deflecting? It certainly isn't the president. Again, he's pointing out facts. The Somalis were lying, saying that their kids had autism so that way they could steal taxpayer dollars. They were lying and saying that they were feeding hungry children so that way they could get taxpayer dollars. We could go on and on and on. The president is deflecting. Well, it's news to me. It's news to me. By the way, he's a racist, bigot, xenophobe. I'm not going to talk about his accusations. I'm going to name call him and say that he's deflecting. Is that projection? I think that's projection.
From the actual failures that he has himself. We know that this administration has not fulfilled the majority of the promises that they've made, whether it is bringing costs down, whether it is the tariffs that are decimating businesses in the United States, whether it is the possible war crimes that his defense secretary is committing. Secretary
of War, just for let the record show, Secretary of War. Put a little respect on that. Let's go down the list. The war crimes. ABC's Martha Raddatz last night saying that they were trying to get back in the boat. They were trying to salvage the drugs. Means that they were still in the fight. Also, who cares? Just being perfectly honest, who cares? He said he hasn't done none of his promises, bringing down prices. It's like gas is the cheapest that it's been. Rent prices coming down. You harped on eggs for like the first 3 months of the administration. Nobody talks about that anymore. The tariffs have directly led to $18 trillion in investments in this country. Joe Biden barely managed $1 trillion over the 4 years he was in office. I mean, again, Democrat talking points, Democrat narrative, and spin. I don't like her. I don't know if you noticed that. I'm not a huge fan. And again, neither is the president of the United States.
And all they do is complain, complain, complain. You have her. She's always talking about the Constitution provides me with... go back to your own country and figure out your Constitution. All she does is complain about this country. And without this country, she would not be in very good shape. She probably wouldn't be alive right now.
Facts.
So Somalia is considered by many to be the worst country on earth. I don't know. I haven't been there. I won't be there anytime soon. I hope.
I'm sorry. The I hope got me. I hope.
But what the Somalian people have done to Minnesota is not even believable. It's not even believable. And a lot of it starts with the governor.
He's right. A lot of it starts with the governor, but the entire state's a mess. I mean, it can start there. It's not going to end there. It's not going to end there. Ilhan Omar, though, what a nut. The president is deflecting. By the way, he's a racist, bigot, xenophobe. Let's not talk about the accusations. Let's not talk about the 50% of Somalis that are there on overstayed their visas that are there. Let's not talk about the illegal aliens. Let's not talk about the fraud. Let's not talk about the billions stolen. No. Why would we do that? The president's a bigot. So we don't have to. We don't have to address his accusations. All we have to do is call him names. And he committed war crimes against fishermen. Who would do that? Who would do such a thing? The fishermen and their submarines with their conveniently plastic-wrapped 1 kilogram fish. They go out and they catch 20,000 1 kilogram fishes, and they plastic wrap them.
It's impressive.
They tuck them in the boat. Listen, they're ready to go.
They did all the work. They got to go back and retrieve it.
It's efficient. we got more. Ron DeSantis weighed in. Stephen Miller weighed in. And you know who else weighed in? Terry Moran from ABC. Terry Moran, he's still upset that he got fired from ABC because of the president, and he's really upset that President Trump called Ilhan Omar garbage. He said who would ever do such a thing? Why would you ever call Ilhan Omar garbage? And why would you call the Somalians garbage? People don't talk like that ever.
Or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is just supporters.
Who would say something like that? It's disgusting. We'll talk about that all and more on the way. 1053, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Let's get you back to a pain-free life by Christmas. Now, you might be thinking, guys, I don't know if that's in the budget. I got gifts to buy. I got places to go, people to see. Maybe we'll focus on it in 2026. I'm here to tell you, you can do both. You can walk, you can chew gum. You can get back to a pain-free life and not break your Christmas budget. The Big Daddy Trump special is still going on from the Wellness Institute of Nashville. It is just $12 to land a full exam, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, plus your first treatment. That's right. Only $12. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, they're not going to give up on getting you back to a pain-free life, and you literally could be back to a pain-free life by Christmas. It doesn't matter what you're dealing with. Back pain, neck pain, sciatica, numbness, bulging discs. They'll treat it all with non-surgical spinal decompression, robot lasers, and anti-gravity machines. No surgery, no painful injections, no opioids. This is the way pain should be dealt with. Grab your MRI. Get ready to finally understand your condition and fix it. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009. Or book your appointment online. Painisbad.com.
We'll tell you where driverless cars are not stopping for school buses. That story and more coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
They're not stopping for school buses?
They're going right around them.
That's interesting.
I mean, I shouldn't be laughing because that could be incredibly dangerous.
It's very dangerous. Ken Weaver finds it funny.
But the whole driverless thing, I mean, I'm sure one of these days it's going to be perfected. But right now, man, it's like we're all in a petri dish.
No, you're absolutely right.
We're just test subjects.
Yeah, we're guinea pigs. They've been doing this to us for years. It's nothing new.
There were, I want to say several years ago, whenever I was still working mornings, whenever I was turning in, to come to work off of Demumbrian, a car came by, and I swear there was nobody in it. There was no one in that car. And fortunately, it wasn't going too fast, but I thought, I guess they're already doing that here.
Yeah, it's a wild thing. I've done the driverless cars.
What do you think?
It's weird. So I did the Waymo cab when I was in Phoenix.
Okay.
I would do it in Phoenix because the city's a grid. You know what I mean? It's a little bit less sketchy than if you were driving around the twisty, windy back roads of Nashville. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Hey, on the way, there was a shocking moment on CNN a little while ago.
Really?
Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison says that he would do nothing different in handling the Minnesota Somali fraud. Nothing. We'll play you the clip when we get back. It's 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Gen 6 update. We get more from ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas.
Sources telling ABC News federal authorities have arrested a Northern Virginia man in connection with the placement of 2 potentially dangerous pipe bombs outside the headquarters of the Republican and Democratic National Committees the night before the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol.
Yeah, sources say the suspect was seen on surveillance video in a sweatshirt. ABC News contributor and former FBI agent Brad Garrett says he believes new information may have come to light recently.
I'm going to guess that something came to light in recent times, days or weeks, where somebody came forward or they got on to somebody that may have information about the potential suspect. And working through that person, they get more information and enough to actually charge them.
Got a heads up for parents of infants. 2 more cases of botulism being reported after consuming the formula called ByHeart, bringing the total to 39 cases across several states, including Kentucky. None have been recorded in Tennessee. The FDA says even though ByHeart has recalled all of its products, there are still some on shelves at Walmart, Target, Kroger, Acme, and Shaw's stores despite the recall. If you have ByHeart baby formula, the FDA says throw it out. The CDC's vaccine advisory panel may vote to recommend a change to the vaccine schedule for newborns. We get more from ABC's Steve Onsunsami outside the CDC in Atlanta.
The vote we're expecting today almost happened last September, but the CDC advisory panel here tabled it at the last minute. It would remove potentially recommending the hepatitis vaccine for newborns in America. This would be a major public health policy shift, a public health policy that dates back more than 30 years.
In Texas, the Austin Independent School District asking Waymo to fix safety issues after repeated incidents of its cars passing stopped school buses.
It's a very dangerous situation when you have busy roadways. Austin is not a small town anymore. Traffic is getting a lot more busy. There's a lot more cars on the roadway.
Now, since the start of the school year, Assistant Chief of Police there, Travis Pickford, calling the issue rampant.
If a vehicle is outwardly breaking the law, we know it's a pattern of problem, and not only that, it's putting our students in danger, then it's my opinion that they not operate until we can get this problem solved.
So far, they've confirmed it happening at least 19 times as the school buses had their lights flashing. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? Chris Hand here. Mason Fleming producing. Ken Weaver in the newsroom. We got a lot to get to, not a lot of time. We've been talking a lot about Minnesota, Somali soda, potato. And there's a lot of meat left on that bone. I feel like we could have done the entire 3 hours on the fraud and the just overwhelming corruption in Minnesota.
Oh, absolutely.
Like without repeating anything. That's how ripe it is. It's wild. Real quick though, we're starting to see updates on the J6 pipe bomber allegedly, and I can just feel it now. I don't know if you can feel it. Can you feel it in the air? Lone wolf acted alone. I'm waiting for it. They're now currently raiding his house in Woodbridge, Virginia. We're getting some news outlets saying that this individual, Brian Cole, has been reportedly described as an anarchist. Some news outlets are saying that he could be linked to Antifa. Julie Kelly was talking about that with Steve Bannon a little while ago, and she said that she cannot confirm that independently, but that this does appear to be the individual that was seen on that surveillance video. We have not seen the court appearance yet, though we do understand that's going to be happening today. We'll bring you updates as they become available. It's a massive story, but I'm telling you, I can just smell it. I can feel it. It's like something's in the air. Lone wolf acted alone. I don't believe it, but I think that's what we're going to get. Oh, well. All right. There it is. We were also talking about Governor Walz earlier in Minnesota. And Governor Walz has done a terrible job. Everybody understands that. The guy is an incompetent fool, a liar, an idiot. He's a stupid person, if you will. If my 3-year-old's listening, Dad, we don't say stupid. I understand. I'm sorry. We're talking about Minnesota, don't you know? The state has been ruined, overrun with Somali migrants, leeching off of the social safety net, the welfare dollars, the public assistance, everything. It's insane. Tim Walz has ruined that state. He has a new challenger. And I don't know if this guy's going to win. Probably not. But Mike Lindell, the pillow man, Mike Lindell, has filed paperwork to run for governor of Minnesota, challenging Tim Walz. It's interesting. I wonder who we're going to get to challenge Attorney General Keith Ellison. Is he up for election? Look up when Keith Ellison. How do they do Attorney General in that state? Is it election? Find out for me. He was on CNN with Anderson Cooper, and he said when it comes to the Somali fraud, this is a guy. Okay, just let me back up a little bit. Keith Ellison is the Attorney General of Minnesota, don't you know? And he has posted photos of him on the internet with the Antifa handbook. And then he also has other posts saying Antifa is just an idea. Like that's who this guy is. He is maybe one of the worst, if not the worst, attorney generals in the country. I think Jay Jones in Virginia is now really putting up a good fight for worst attorney general. But he was asked, would you do anything different when it comes to the Somali fraud? Would you, sir?
I do want to ask you about the fraud scandal. I mean, because the president's comments seem at least in part fueled by, or he's talking about this fraud scandal that we mentioned earlier involving that charity called Feeding Our Future. The vast majority of these 70 defendants charged in the case were Somali. For perspective, those are nearly 80,000 Somalis in the state. How much, critics have said that state officials, including you and the governor, did not act fast enough or quickly enough to investigate charges of fraud against the Feeding Our Future and did little to flag their allegations to federal authorities. I know you said it was the federal government that didn't move fast enough. Is there something you wish you had done differently?
No. Why would I want to piss off my voting bloc? No, I wouldn't do anything differently. I love how Anderson Cooper gives them some cover. I know that you've previously said that the federal government didn't move fast enough. When is this guy going to get voted out? Is he going to get voted out? Probably not.
Yeah, so I looked into it, and it is a voter election. It's a 4-year thing. Election comes up on November 3rd of next year.
Okay, so he's up for re-election.
Yeah.
Midterms. We know Mike Lindell's filed paperwork to run against Tim Walz. Let's see what happens in the Attorney General race. This is one of the things that's crazy, though, is that with the amount of newcomers that they have, it's an uphill battle. It is 100% an uphill battle. So we'll see what happens. But it's crazy what's going on over there. Stephen Miller was talking about it. And, because Ilhan Omar has been out there. The Somalis are the fabric of America. We are America. And Stephen Miller, he was on Jesse Waters last night. And I don't know, this cracked me up.
We've achieved everything we have as a country. And somehow, over 250 years, we've gotten where we are today. And we've done it all without the help of Somali refugees, which is...
How could we have done it? Everything we've achieved in the 250 years, I don't know how we did it without the Somali refugees. They're the fabric of this nation. Ilhan Omar. We are Americans. We're not going anywhere. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, not a fan of Ilhan Omar, and he was on Jesse Waters' show last night as well.
Obviously, he's got a lot of egg on his face. It's a big scandal. But I'll tell you, I'm watching the clip of Ilhan Omar. This is somebody that fled this, terrible country, no rights, and then she comes to the United States and uses our freedoms to try to make us more like the country she fled.
Exactly. Thank you. It's insane. You would not have this ladder up into prosperity that you've had in America, Miss Omar, in Somalia. You wouldn't. And instead of bringing in all these people and watching them assimilate to the American dream and appreciate the American dream and love the American dream, they take a huge crap on it. They refuse to assimilate. We were talking to JJ. She called in, former Minnesota resident. She fled the state. She came here. She says, if you're an American, you're a white Christian, you were treated as a second-class citizen by the Somalis in that area. Not a fan.
How the hell does that make any sense? And why did we, over many decades as a government, obviously, not me or current Trump administration, but what had happened to bring in so many people who really don't necessarily want to assimilate? And I think some of these candidates who run there talk about they're not America first, but Somali first. So it's really a failure of the elites in this country with how they've handled immigration, particularly by putting Americans last.
Well, they say it's racist if you say that all these Somalis stole $1 billion.
Yeah, the race card is what they're trying to do to evade accountability.
Yep. That's exactly what I said. When Ilhan Omar says the president is deflecting from his failures because he's a racist, xenophobe, bigot, and she doesn't address the fraud. She doesn't address the corruption. She doesn't address the illegal activities of the Somalis. She's the one deflecting. DeSantis is on the money here.
They'll say you're racist. They'll say you're, quote, Islamophobic. If you question why some of these folks have no interest in assimilating into American society. And I think people, particularly in Republican side and the conservative side, I think we're beyond where they can just sling the race card out and people should be scared of that. That's what they'll do. That's their default. But I don't think people are buying it anymore.
No, nobody is. I mean, we knew that would happen. The terms have been so devalued. Being called a racist in 2014 was like, oh, no, dude, no way, not me. And then being called a racist in 2025, I'm like, ha, loser. Like, what? Whatever. Moving on. Nothing of value is here in this conversation. This is what they do. They've devalued their own terms. Nothing of value is lost. DeSantis is right. Not something I say all the time, but he's on the money here. Ilhan Omar will call you a racist. The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry, will call you a racist for calling out the Somalis. The mayor of Minneapolis was like, man, I'm so proud. I'm so proud to have the largest Somali community in the country. And President Trump was asked about that yesterday inside the Oval Office.
The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, is saying that he's actually proud to have the largest Somali community in the country, and his police chief.
Well, then he's a fool.
Well, his police chief is also
I
saying
wouldn't be proud to have the largest Somalian. Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. It's just people walking around killing each other.
Savage, but true. Savage but true. You know, when they'll call him a racist for that, and then I think he should just turn back around and be like, "Are you reality phobic? Are you one of those reality phobes? Are you truth phobic? Are you a truthophobe?" I mean, what are we doing here? But you can't paint him with a broad brush. Ugh. Okay, well, everywhere I look, it seems like it's another Somali migrant. I mean, do you remember a couple weeks ago where the woman was raped to death in Nashville? Somali migrant. Weird. What a coincidence. Don't paint with a broad brush. Okay, I won't. I won't. I got another story here though. This one's from Maine. And in Maine, it's so weird. It's there's a Somali guy, and he's on the school board, and he's going to be sworn in as a city councilor. Okay, and this is in Lewiston, Maine. Somalian guy, and he had just been indicted on charges for allegedly stealing guns. Don't you dare paint with a broad brush, sir. I'm just telling you. Listen. It's not just Minneapolis. It seems that wherever these migrants end up, that crime just seems to follow them. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. You know the funniest thing about this, though? I got the whole story here, and we'll go into it. But before we do, when they booked him on grand jury charges, do you know what they put down for race?
Oh, no.
If you're watching on the stream, you'll see it's highlighted. Libs of TikTok got it. They listed him as white. They listed him as white. Many such cases of this, actually, if you pay attention. If you ever get down on a crime stats, you can look at stuff. It's all on the internet. Everybody, I don't know how anybody thinks they're going to get away with anything now that we have the internet. But it's like all the time you'll see like a crime charged, and it's like, whoa, look at this Hispanic guy that was raping people. Or like, look at this black guy that robbed a Wendy's. And then you'll scroll down and you'll look at the race, and it's like right next to the mugshot, directly next to the mugshot. And it's like, don't believe your lying eyes. The race is white. Oh. Weird. On the ground in Lewiston, Maine, though, they have been covering this story. It's not getting much mainstream media attention, but it does highlight that these Somali migrants are bringing these problems wherever they go. Not just Minneapolis, it's also in Lewiston, Maine. And the Maine Wire has the story.
Hi, John Featherston with the Maine Wire reporting from 210 Blake Street in Lewiston, Maine, where Iman Osman today was indicted on federal gun charges stemming from a drug raid that happened at this address, 210 Blake Street in Lewiston, back in October of 24. In December of 24, Mr. Osmond was appointed to the school committee by the mayor of Lewiston, and he is a city councilor-elect in Lewiston, expected to be seated in early January. So many questions about this story. Mr. Osmond refuses to identify where he lives because, as you can see, this is a restaurant and a condemned apartment building. Lewiston law does not allow you to live in a condemned building. He has refused to, even myself, tell anybody where he lives. So many questions. Now with this federal indictment on gun charges, it only complicates the story for Mr. Osmond.
You're not allowed to know where I live. I'm on the school board. I'm going to be a city councilman. And sure, I was indicted on federal gun charges. Again, coming full circle, we're back to the meme with the dog sitting in the kitchen. Everything's on fire, and he's saying, this is fine. This is fine. Who wouldn't want this guy on your school board? Who wouldn't want this individual who was swept up in a drug raid and indicted on federal gun charges to be a city councilor? You aren't some kind of bigot, are you? You aren't some kind of racist. It's insane. So that's what they'll throw at you. I would just say, actually, no, I was under the impression he was white. When I looked at the indictment papers, that's what he was listed as. I don't see color. I read the indictment. I had no idea he was Somalian. I thought he was white.
Mr. Osmond has refused to acknowledge where he actually lives. I've asked him point blank where he lives. He's refused to answer.
This is fine.
We're at 256 Bartlett Street today, where Mr. Osmond reported his gun stolen just weeks ago. So a federal indictment about stolen guns. He's reported his gun stolen in an area that is unfortunately well known in the Lewiston area for gun violence, especially with younger Lewiston residents. A lot of questions here.
Notice he
Came by
didn't
City
say
Hall
citizens.
And tried to talk to the mayor of Lewiston, Carl Shaleen, about the indictment today of Iman Osman, who he appointed to the school committee back in December of 2024. Tried to come and get the mayor on record. I did talk to his communications staff. The mayor is not available and is currently not in City Hall. I also did ask for a return phone call from him as well, so I will update you if and when I receive that. I also left a voicemail for the the city administrator as well. So a lot happening here in Lewiston.
Yeah, a lot of unanswered questions, he goes on to say. That's the reporting from the main wire. CD Osman, or Iman Osman, excuse me, he was a Somalian Maine city councilor-elect. He's a school board member, indicted on charges for allegedly stealing guns, stolen guns. This is fine. It's a total coincidence. Don't believe what your eyes are showing you, okay? Don't believe it. And don't paint with a broad brush either. That's wrong. You wouldn't want to be called racist.
You sure about that?
It's 11:22. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Cover Nash. Shane Ring is going to help you with your insurance headaches. You might be thinking, crap, I missed open enrollment and I have to wait until next year to get myself good health insurance. You know, that is actually just what the big insurance companies want you to think. It's one of the biggest myths in health insurance. With Cover Nash, you can get covered today, right now. No waiting, no gimmicks. If you missed open enrollment, they got you covered. You lost your job, so you lost your coverage. Cover Nash has you covered. You're just plain old sick of overpriced junk insurance. You're in the right place. Cover Nash is going to work with 75 top-rated insurance companies, and by working with them, they can bring you the best plan for your budget and your needs. They have brand new nationwide PPO plans with deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, plans for individuals, families, self-employed folks, small businesses. Stop overpaying, stop waiting, stop thinking you're stuck. Call Shane Ring today, 615-465-0023. I can guarantee you he is at his desk right now, 615-465-0023, or find him online, covernash.com.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
So Trump announced today he's federalizing D.C. police to put an end to violent crime in Washington, D.C. Naturally, leftists are losing their mind and completely unhinged.
We believe there is a better way to protect us all. One that respects rights to build trust and keep our communities truly safe, and that is fascism-free.
Free of what?
That is fascism-free.
Fascism-free? Fascism-free. Oh, okay, hang on one second. Hey, Brooks, come here. F-A-S-C-I-S-M.
Fascism?
Correct, fascism. I didn't mean to turn this into an ad for homeschooling versus public schooling, yet here we are.
Maybe she should have proofread that.
We'll let you know the latest we've learned about this arrest in connection with the pipe bombs that were placed outside the Republican and Democratic National Committees in Washington before the January 6, 2021 Capitol attack. That story and more coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. I'm Chris Hand, 11:27. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Are they saying Lone Wolf acted alone yet?
Haven't said anything like that, Brother Chris.
I'm telling
Not that
you.
I've seen yet.
That's coming. I can just feel it. I can feel it in my plums.
It was a
Okay, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
You jumped on that so fast.
What?
I can't stop watching that video, man.
What? Which one?
The plums.
Oh, yeah. That might be...
That might be
low-key.
one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It might low-key be the best HBO series ever, Eastbound and Down.
Oh, my goodness.
And Will Ferrell. I can feel it in my plums, Kenny Powers.
So good.
We should get that as a hotkey.
Oh, my gosh.
I can feel it. Jesse in Gallatin wants to talk about immigrants. What's up, Jesse? Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Mr. Hand? How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good. Say, listen to you talk about the Somali thing in Minnesota, and I could sit and beat on them all day too. Right? I can't stand it. But I kind of wanted to ask you what your thoughts were on what we're doing here in Nashville. Right? We have the largest Kurdish population in the United States. You've got 20,000 plus Kurdish people right here in Nashville. The majority of them come from, Turkey, Iran, Iraq, and Syria. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm not anti-Kurd, and I'm not anti-Somalian. I think the issue would be risen and be a bit more prominent if the Kurds were in Tennessee committing billions of dollars in fraud.
Yeah, I hear you there, the fraud part of it. But just looking at where the people are coming from, my question is, have we vetted these people? Right? We're bringing them from all over the world into different states here. Are these people being vetted that we're bringing here? They're not the most peaceful population, right? We're depending on where they come from, and that's just a kind of a concern I've seen here in Nashville is the influx of immigrants we're bringing here as well.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen. I'll be honest with you. It's not something I've overly paid attention to. Something I'll definitely look into a little bit more since you've raised the issue. But there hasn't been anything that's been a glaring red flag to me that would say like the Kurds are a problem.
Yeah, no, I'm not so much saying is there a problem. I don't see them causing a ton of things, right? A ton of issues, but the Somalians were quiet for a long time in Minneapolis as well.
Well,
They didn't just come in and
there were
start.
people raising the alarms and ringing the warning signals, setting up flares for years and years and years. You just didn't have the Democrats in power paying any attention to it. You also had a Democrat administration the last 4 years under Joe Biden who were creating many problems that were diverting attention in many different directions. And we're just now getting to a point with the Trump administration where we can kind of focus on a lot of this stuff and be like, wait, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, I hear you. I agree with you. I just wanted to kind of bring that to light and just what your guys' thoughts were on that.
Yeah, no, hey, man, it's a good point, and I'll look into it more and kind of round out a more well-informed opinion for you.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah, man, appreciate you. It's 11:30. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. An arrest has been made in connection with pipe bombs placed outside the headquarters of the Republican and Democratic National Committees in Washington just hours before the attack on the Capitol, January 6, 2021.
Sources tell us the suspect was arrested at his home this morning. Authorities believe he is the person seen on these various surveillance camera videos walking around the Capitol wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, a mask, and a pair of Nike Air Max sneakers. The bombs were found roughly 16 hours after they were placed, discovered at a critical moment, just minutes before hundreds of supporters of President Trump began breaching barricades outside of the U.S. Capitol.
Now, the Bureau of Labor Statistics says claims for unemployment benefits have taken a historic dive to their lowest level since September of 2022. The consensus among economists was for a slight increase in the number of claims for unemployment benefits, considered an indicator of layoff activity. Instead, Labor Department says that in the week leading up to November 29th, jobless claims fell by 27,000, down to 191,000 altogether. And Australia is about to become the first country in the world to implement a ban on social media for children. But the move is already raising questions about how that law will be enforced, says ABC's Mike Dubusky.
Starting next Wednesday, kids under 16 in Australia will have their social media accounts deactivated on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Snapchat. Australia's government doesn't specify how platforms should enforce the measure, but age verification can be done through various methods, from having people upload pictures of their government IDs to using face or voice recognition technology to estimate how old someone is. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Now, those companies could be fined up to $33 million if there are major or repeated violations of that law. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for our new client. Really excited about these guys coming on as a sponsor of the show. Parker Safes and Vaults. These guys are the best. Gun owners, listen up. There is a huge difference between a real gun safe and one of the flimsy ones that you can get. Parker's Safe and Vaults in Shelbyville. They're going to explain the difference for you. These guys are the absolute best. You can get a lot of things for Christmas. Santa's not carrying a 1,200-pound safe down the chimney. This is where Parker's Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville comes in. They sell the real thing. Heavy-duty gun safes built for fire protection, theft defense, securing your firearms, but also protecting family heirlooms, jewelry, passports, birth certificates, photo albums, the works. Aaron Parker runs the joint. He's a former Air Force security veteran and a former U.S. Park Ranger. He knows firearms, he knows home security, and he'll help you choose the safe that fits your needs and your budget. This December, when you buy a new safe from Parker, you're going to mention the Chris Hand Show. You're going to receive a free gift with your new safe, something every gun owner is going to appreciate. If you need that safe, and trust me, you do, call Aaron today, 931-842-6445, 931-842-6445, or check them out online, see what the inventory looks like, parkersafes.com. Real guns. Real gun safes, real protection, parkersafes.com. It's 11:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. I love you guys. I really do. The Super Text line is so clutch for information. We had a guy call in a little while ago, and he's like, you're talking about the Somalis. He said, but what about the Kurds in Nashville? I'll be honest with you, I've never really thought about it. I'm open to the discussion. But the text line always comes through. Just 100%. No consensus. I'll tell you that much. There's no consensus. I got texts like this. Kurds are great. Run a nice little restaurant in Mount Juliet called Tholos. Really good food. The Kurdish team that runs it are very pleasant folks. I got another guy saying Kurds and Somalis are night and day. As a cop, I've had many dealings with Kurds in Nashville. Generally, they're very patriotic, love America. Somalis, not so much from personal experience. Of course, generalizations are never 100% accurate facts. 8695 texted in. He said, retired Metro cop, Kurds are garbage. I said, okay, give me some examples. 'Cause I need a little bit more than that. He said, this is what he said to me. Kurdish pride gang. Hits put on gang detectives. Murders, robberies, drugs. He then said, the Kurdish pride gang got a gang member through a police academy who was then arrested for giving police info to the Kurdish pride gang.
Oh, wow.
That's a crazy story.
Yeah.
I'll look into that. Dude, it's something I'll keep my eyes on. I think it also depends on the immigration status of these different groups. You know what I mean? Like this is key, right?
Yeah, I was like, we have family friends to our church who are missionaries to the Kurdish people overseas and here in Nashville. Everybody that I've met that they have helped come to Christ through that, all amazing people. Yeah. But I've also heard of the gang stuff, and I'm like, you just never know. But it all ties back to the immigration status.
Yeah, well, and, criminals are going to do crime, so.
Criminals be criming.
People don't think it be like it is, but it do.
But it do.
Time for the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
I don't know if you hit the wrong one or if you planned it like that, but it flowed.
Yeah, that was all intentional.
It flowed. We do the lightning round every single day at this time. All the stories that we didn't have a chance to get to. The stories that wouldn't necessarily fill up a whole segment, but, we want to talk about it nonetheless. We call it the lightning round. I don't know how it's lightning round time already. Do you have any idea?
Yeah, today's show's flown by.
Time flies when you're talking Somalis, So
I'm in danger.
Okay. To be fair, at least we didn't go full Haiti eating the cats and dogs.
That's true.
Make
a song out of it.
You could.
But like Trump didn't go that way with J.D. Pritzker, we won't go that way with the Somalis.
No, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do anything like that.
No.
Speaking about eating things.
Oh.
First story in the lightning round. Sorry, I'm just waiting for the storm to clear.
Yeah, it's long.
Senator Joni Ernst, Republican, out of Iowa. She is she's got some new legislation that she's trying to pass. Are you ready for this? I think you might like this. I do. I think you're going to enjoy this one. Senator Joni Ernst went on Fox Business to tell the people about it.
Stuart, I have an act. It's called the Excuse Me Act, which would disallow those SNAP benefits being used at fast food restaurants. Again,
the Excuse Me Act? Excuse Me?
That's pretty good.
I like the name.
That's pretty good.
The name flows. Pass it. Pass it. The Excuse Me Act. Does it infuriate you when you drive by a McDonald's and you see EBT eligible? Like, I'm sorry. We shouldn't be feeding you McDonald's like as a supplemental nutritional assistance program, SNAP benefits, EBT benefits. No.
We shouldn't be funding you every time the McRib comes back.
No. We could talk about the snack wrap.
You know what? Maybe controversial. I hate the new version.
Really? I haven't tried it. It's like all the things
subpar.
That really?
Yeah. Doesn't stack up to the original. They changed everything else about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Also, do you remember the salad shakers from back in the 90s?
Yeah.
That was gangster.
It's cool.
It was cool.
Good food.
Weird. Nobody wanted to buy salad at McDonald's.
It was more calories than the burger.
Honestly, I think it was. I think you're absolutely right. Like the salad dressing.
So heavy.
Yeah, dude. But this is what we're talking about. It's not healthy food.
No.
Even their salads weren't healthy. So as a supplemental food program, EBT or SNAP benefits, no. You should not be able to use them at McDonald's. And I'll go a step further. You shouldn't be able to use them at restaurants. This should be for the grocery store. Because what that turns into is the federal government subsidizing McDonald's. We don't need that. Nobody wants that. Over 1 billion served. How much did our taxpayer dollars pay for that? Like, how many? How many? I'm sorry. It's infuriating. Excuse me a minute. But Joni Ernst is absolutely right here, introducing the Excuse Me Act. And she announced this yesterday on Fox Business. This is going to be going to the House. I hope that this gets passed immediately. Tell us more about the Excuse Me Act.
Excuse Me Act, which would disallow those SNAP benefits being used at fast food restaurants. Again, we want to make sure that those hungry families, those food insecure families actually are receiving benefits, but we want them to really use those dollars on nutrient-rich foods. And you're not going to find those at fast food restaurants.
I mean, makes sense, right? Makes sense. People don't want to have these conversations.
Makes sense.
You see them. You see them on the windows, on the fast food restaurants as you're driving home today, or even if you're going out to lunch and you're going to grab you can get yourself a Big Mac. You'll see it. You'll see it. We shouldn't be subsidizing these companies. We shouldn't. In the same way, we shouldn't be subsidizing Coca-Cola or Pepsi and allowing those things to be bought on SNAP and EBT benefits. This is common sense. Like, this is waste. This is insane. Joni Ernst is right. I hope that this continues. I got a text here, 5551. Remember that guy that ate McDonald's for 30 days? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Supersize Me.
Yeah.
Didn't he gain like a bunch of weight?
Yep. It was because he was consuming every part of the meal, not like being like, oh, well, if I only eat the protein on blah, blah, blah. It was just shoveling.
Supplemental nutrition, all caps, assistance, JT texted in. This should disallow McD's and snacks and candy. Yeah, does it fall under nutrition? If you're like a molecule or two away from plastic, does that count? Have you ever seen the McDonald's burgers? They leave them out to rot and they don't rot.
Dude, yeah.
If the bacteria or the mold decides that's probably not food, maybe we should rethink this.
Yeah, I used to go to work with my dad growing up on like sick days or like we have one day out of school and my mom's out working. He had a little experiment where he left a Big Mac out on his desk, like in the corner, tucked away where it wouldn't like cause anything. And I went with him when he first put it out, came back a month later, same burger, looked identical to when I first was there.
Really?
It was wildly uncomfortable.
That's gross. A lot of people on the text line are saying beans and beans only on SNAP benefits. Beans and sardines. I got a text here for 6442. Should be ingredients only. Make your own food. Maybe some canned goods, fresh ingredients, not steak and lobster.
No, absolutely not.
Dude, have you seen some of those videos where people on SNAP benefits or EBT benefits are like, crab leg night? It's like, well, what? What are we doing?
Yeah, having a broil or something like that is like, whoa.
Yeah.
I can't afford that.
No. I saw a meme last night, and it was the average middle class fridge, and it was like eggs, a carton of milk, and like generally empty. And it was like the average welfare recipient, SNAP recipient fridge, and the thing is just loaded, and it's all the junk, it's all the garbage. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Clean it up. Thank you, Joni Ernst. Thank you. That should pass immediately. This is kind of on the same lane, but there was a liberal one, and they're putting work requirements on some SNAP benefits, and you're gonna have to work 4 hours a day if you want the government to pay for your food. And she was very upset about that. Sorry, that's Joni again. Joni, not now. We're done with you. We're going over to this liberal woman who is very upset that she's going to have to work 4 hours a day. If you're not watching on the stream, let me paint the scene for you. She's like 400 pounds. I mean, right, Mason? Is that 400 pounds? 300? It's like pushing 3 bills, 4 bills?
At least.
3 or 4? 3.
Probably give it 3.5.
It's embarrassing. She doesn't want to work 4 hours a day. She wants you to continue paying for her food. She wants the federal government to continue feeding her, which is probably a lot. It's probably costs a lot. You ready to hear her?
Yeah, let's go.
She doesn't think it's fair that you're gonna have to work 80 hours a month to get SNAP.
I don't think it's fair that he do that, but
And you were saying you think it's going to hurt a lot of people?
oh yeah, definitely. Definitely it's going to hurt a lot of people because you never know. You know what? Especially now that we are in the holidays and everybody wants to have a good dinner and everything. And if you don't give it to them, it's going to be really hard.
The reporter leading the question, leading the witness here. And you said a lot of people are going to be hurt? And you said a lot of people were blaming Trump? Right? Like, especially right now.
You said the earth is flat?
Yeah. And the birds are watching you?
Yeah. You said there's no such thing as chemtrails?
Huge woman.
You know, I didn't factor in the height part of it, though. She looks like she's 4 foot from the angle that she's having to look up to the reporter.
It makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Makes it even worse. She's easily pushing a few bills.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I do. I don't want people to go hungry, but she's not. Clearly.
I think she's eating better than I am.
And again, she's like, it's the holidays. Everybody deserves a good meal. And I'm like, okay. Like, again, the meme, the average welfare recipient fridge versus the average middle class fridge.
Mm-hmm.
These things are not the same.
No.
I got time for another story here in the lightning round. Do you know what I would do if I ever went to a church like this?
Oh, no. What kind of church are we talking?
I'd run. It's a UMC.
Mm.
United Methodist Church.
We're talking about the pastor that came out?
Not just came out. He said he's chopping off bits. It's a crazy story. New York pastor he's on the, I think this is a live stream. Everybody's live streaming their church now. But he's on a live stream. He's got the little priest robe, right? Is it a priest in the Methodist Church or is it a pastor? I'm not sure. I
don't know. It looks like a Walmart hoodie, to be honest.
But he's wearing his thing. He's got his robe on. The robe is already rainbowed, like gay pride rainbow.
Yeah, he's got like a sash around his neck.
So like as soon as I saw the video, I was like, this ain't gonna be good.
Nope.
And I couldn't look away. He tells the congregation that he is no longer a male and he's going to be undergoing gender transition. 51-year-old Reverend Phil Fanuff of North Chile United Methodist Church told his congregation he was going to give up pretending to be a man.
Or my personal life, but sometimes there are things that happen in a pastor's personal life that is going to find its way out into ministry. And so I am inviting you to join me in a season of creative transformation for myself, and I think for all of us. Imagine, so I get to announce with joy that I'm transitioning. I'm affirming and saying to all of you that I am transgender. And so,
one woo.
And so, the best way to put this is that I'm
going to hell. Sorry. What's the best way to put this?
I'm not becoming a woman. I'm giving up pretending to be a man.
Stunning and brave. Everyone clapped.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I mean, that's the point he's making. He's not that guy.
Exactly.
That's the exact point he's making. Do you want your tithes going to something like that?
Yeah, I believe that falls under blasphemy.
Yikes.
A little bit?
Yikes. Whoa.
What will change?
What will change? I'll tell you what. I'm going to be changing where I'm going next Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to say the level of testosterone.
He then goes on and he's like, my parents don't agree with me. It's like your parents instilled at least some semblance of a religious foundation if you're a pastor at a Methodist church.
Yeah, at least you know.
But they're like, no, we're not agreeing with this. You need to get professional help.
Yeah.
This is not a church. I don't know. I don't know if you need to know this. I don't know if you didn't know this, but this is not a pastor. This is not a church. If you read his Bible, it's Genesis. It's literally it's in the beginning of the book. In the beginning. What did God make? Man and woman. Oh, Chris, you're such a bigot. I guess so. 11:52. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Zero Res Nashville. I love these guys. I swear by them. I use them. 4 kids, 2 dogs. You understand that we get a lot of stains on the carpet. It's mud. It's dirt. What the heck is that? I tell you what, we have a 100% success rate of Zero Res coming in and removing the what the heck is that? They've never failed. We don't know what it is. They didn't want to ask. They get it out of the carpet every single time. It's unbelievable. Right now, they have a really good holiday clean special. 2 rooms plus your hallway or stairs for $129. It's going to clean up the house before company comes over. Maybe you need to clean up from company coming over for Thanksgiving. Maybe you need more than 2 rooms. You can get 3 rooms, a hallway and stairs for just $149. You're not going to beat these deals anywhere. Zero Res is the Maha of carpet cleaning. They're exclusive ZR water, no soap, no harsh chemicals, no residue, just pristine carpets in your home. Call Zero Res today, 615-535-9376, 615-535-9376. They'll clean up the carpets. They'll get rid of the, what the heck is that? ZeroResNashville.com. It's 11:58, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? Chris Hand here. You still got time to head over to YouTube, hit like, hit subscribe, help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. Mason Fleming's he's been all right today. Ken Weaver in the newsroom has been outstanding.
Thank you, Brother Chris. Yes, checks in the mail.
And Chad Benson's in studio now.
What's up?
I always find a way to insult Mason, but I wait until he's on the phone. Because then it's harder for him to respond.
Yeah, you can't do anything about it.
He can't do it. He's stuck in a conversation.
Yeah.
He's been so bad today.
He's been pretty bland.
He's been like, bland. Just derailing me. You know, he's been late to the punch on sound effects.
His car falls apart. You know what?
Probably doesn't like puppies.
We know he doesn't like puppies.
You know, no, I take that back. He does. When they're in kicking range.
Preferably swinging with a
bat. You ever go to the pound and as you adopt one, you turn and you go, these are good eating, right? Have a good day.
Which one would you recommend for stew? No, that's not my son's name. There's like a whole dog eating festival in China.
Yeah, there is. There is. And they don't like that either. There's certain places. It's like, you know what?
They don't like it?
The Chinese, like the government and everything. They're like the modern world's like, hey, guys.
They don't like the optics of it.
Well, and the modern side of it, you're not going to get the Communist Party. They're not doing that. But they don't like the optics don't look good either.
No.
Just like, you know what? They eat guinea pigs in Ecuador.
Yeah, they're a delicacy.
They eat guinea pigs in Ecuador. But they're so cute.
Yeah.
You know?
But they taste
and they
good.
squeak.
Lobsters,
they do squeak.
Lobster's a delicacy here. It started as prison food. Did you know
started
that?
as prison food, absolutely.
That was prison food.
And it's got this nervous system is the most aligned with ours than any other animal.
Jordan Peterson and the lobsters.
Yeah, the lobsters.
That's a heck of a thing to listen
Crazy.
to. Yeah, recommend doing that. What are you talking about today?
You know what? I'm going to talk about. We're just going to do animal talk all day. I think that's going to be pretty good. We got
Let's go.
Great animal stories. Ken, I just sent you a hilarious thing with a bear. Another thing.
Oh, is that what the people trying to pet it and feed it? What are they doing?
They're going, hey, you know what they think? They know I'm a vegetarian. I'm a good person. They know. That bear knows that, right? It can see that I've got a rainbow bumper sticker.
Wow. Is it unfair to assume that somebody who's willing to pet and feed a bear is a liberal?
No, because I think, you know what it is? They're usually none of those things. What they are people who pay no attention to anything else and live in the world of Instagram, and they have no idea what politics is.
Or they grew up watching Yogi Bear growing up.
Because they're too busy trying to do what? Let's get the selfie. Let's get something like that.
We're doing it for the likes. I will tell you what. Petting a bear, feeding a bear for the likes and the views, that's better than the guy that was giving out machetes and vodka to the homeless people for the likes and the views.
Yeah, that was awful. Like, you know what? Maybe next week you can go out and give loaded guns to
school children.
To school children.
Yeah, they need
Oh,
them.
jeez,
They're
Chad.
protecting the kids. But I'll tell you what, though, the brush problem in Austin, Texas has been cleared up quickly after those machetes were handed out.
I'm sure they have been. I don't really think that's true.
Chad's in next. It's 12:02. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.